Previously on DrakeParagon.
What's going on?
There's an iceberg in the boat.
Wow! It's huge! How did it get in here?
You guys want some ice?
Oh my god. Perfect! Yeah, you're moving! We got more birds headed our way. How did you guys discover sailing? When was that? Where was that?
Not guilty.
Oh no!
I was always out with boats when I was a kid with my parents. First just small fishing boats, and then we got a little bigger hardtop boat, and then we got a sailboat. So we sailed with that for a few years, and then got a motorboat again.
Yeah. And
then I didn't sail much until after boat building school. I went to work on the yard where these boats were built, and where I worked, and there's a lot of sailing going on in that yard. Think about building a boat and go sailing.
So your parents taught you how to sail? They
In the beginning,
introduced you to sailing. And then you went on to work at a boat building school. How did that happen? And did you...
That was pretty much the advisor on the school before you go out of
High school.
high school, yeah. Tried to talk to me what I wanted to do after, and I was thinking about going to plumbing school, and she was kind of like, do you have any other interests or something like that you can also think of? I always wanted to work with boats, but I mean, there's not really a job in that. Oh yes, there's a school for that. So, I went there.
And when did sailing start for you? When did you first go for a sail?
When I met him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. How did you guys meet?
At a midsummer youth party in the archipelago outside Stockholm.
Wow. And you said...
I'm building a boat.
Really?
Yeah. I'm building a boat. Yeah, you have been to Alaska and got it.
Yeah, I think I pretty much picked up the idea of going sailing while I went to Alaska 2004, and I stayed there for 6 months.
Wow.
Working on a boat, and we had whale watching people out with us, and
Fishing.
fishing, and then I decided I'm gonna build one boat and go back there.
So that was like a charter boat in Alaska that you worked on?
Just a long story. My great aunt's son's ex-girlfriend's brother had a boat up there. So through all that chain, like, okay, I go to Alaska and see what those folks are, and that was just awesome.
When did you decide that you were going to build this boat? It was
Yes,
this boat.
the first one
relax.
before this one, but pretty much the same boat.
Yeah.
But then we wanted to change a few things, and so we decided to build another one.
So you were building the first one when you guys...
Yeah, I
Yeah.
just started to build the first one week before, so I didn't really have time to go to that Midsummer Eve party. But my friends that were just calling, you have to come. So I went into my small motorboat and I drove over there, like 1 hour drive. And I set up the boat and pretty much arrived in the middle of the day where the party already started for a while. And I never thought it's gonna last because it's about 1,600 hour overtime to build a boat. So we didn't see each other much the first year, but you stayed, and
Here
then
we
for the
are.
second boat you were more involved. So
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So what happened to the first boat?
We
you
sailed.
finished it.
Yeah, we finished it and then we sailed it. So I learned the normal stuff.
Yeah.
Or sailing around in the archipelago outside Stockholm.
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually looked at other boats first before we decided to build this one.
you had to buy a used one.
Yeah.
Then it makes so much sense to just build
Huh.
a new one yourself again that you know, and take what we learned from the first boat and change that a little bit to be more fitting for 2 people cruising instead of having the standard interior is made for having sleeping areas for 6 people. So we moved things around a little bit to make it more comfortable for 2 people instead. And
living on board full time.
yeah,
Did you live on the first boat together?
No. We lived in an
just
apartment.
for a
Yeah.
few weeks, like every fall and in the spring we lived on it, but not too long.
No.
Yeah.
And then when we finished this one, I started the University of Stockholm.
Yeah.
And after a while, we both thought, well, why don't go now?
Go cruising.
Yeah, what are we waiting for? We have an apartment, we have a car, and we use the boat only like full time in the summertime.
Yeah.
So why don't sell the apartment? And so we set a date, and I quit school and got a job and saved up some money, and then we went.
The goal was to go off voyaging.
Yeah,
Yeah.
go up to Alaska again. I
Yeah.
wanted to go up there,
Wow.
But then at first we
Yeah.
thought going to Norway because it's better payment there.
Huh.
So we went to Norway first.
And you worked there for a while.
Mm-hmm,
yeah,
2
we
years.
wanted to see the nature and
Yeah,
cruise that area for a while, and just for one winter pretty much.
yeah, first.
Just to see it and to get a little more money before we left. But then we ended up liking it so much we couldn't leave the first year. And we figured like, oh well, we can make some more money if we stay here longer, and we're gonna have more time to see it. And then
You really
after that year, you have to tell me that we have to leave.
Yeah.
And I pretty much still wanted to stay because I like it so much.
No, we don't have to go. Let's go. Okay.
How long were you in Norway altogether? That first time?
2 years pretty much.
Yeah.
2 years. And what work did you do while you were there?
I worked in the kindergarten.
And I was boat building. We stayed on this boat 1 winter in Sweden,
Yeah.
and then the 2 years in Norway.
Wow. What's the length?
It is just 35 feet
35 feet long.
and 11 feet the beam.
She's a fin keel.
Yeah,
And how long have you lived on here now?
5 years.
yeah, it's getting 5 years
Yeah,
this year.
yeah.
And you built this boat
Mhm.
from
From
scratch.
scratch.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. I've met people who've like bought the hull and
Yeah.
built the interior, but you've done 100%.
We had the mold was already made, so we didn't have to make the mold for it. We only had to lay the fiberglass into the mold.
And you made the interior the winter before. We made
Yeah,
the
all the
whole.
wooden pieces.
You made the interior before you made the
Yeah,
hull.
Yeah.
all the loose pieces.
Oh, so you had plans for everything. I mean, you must have.
Actually, there's no plan for a single thing on the yard.
Really?
So you pretty much just have to learn everything as you start working there. You work with an experienced person first, and as times go by, you learn how the boat's built up. And I build a lot of this type on the yard as the normal works. I know the measurements in the head, and I know what I wanted to change in the boat.
Yep.
So I made those parts a little bigger and something a little smaller. And
So you actually work on making this boat for that company that got sold to other people. So you were
Yeah,
already
that's my-
familiar
like,
with
yeah.
building this
Yeah.
model.
yeah, there is 4 different models. There were at that time 4 different models of boats in the yard.
Yeah.
So you go between these models. But I was doing a lot of the 35 and the 33.
So you went to school for boat building, and then you went to work at that yard that builds and sells these boats.
Yeah.
How long did you stay in school learning boat building, and then how long did you work for this company that made this boat?
The school is originally 3 years, and then I discovered this small yard on the
East Coast.
on the East Coast, where you get involved in all the making of the boat. You're 1 people or 2 people doing a boat from scratch, all the way to
Only 2 people.
But in the end, you built your own. You were only one. You were
yeah.
alone.
The last
and-
years I was by myself in the boats, and I was building mostly the 33 feet. From putting the whole on deck together to doing the wood interior, to the electrical installations and engine furnishing, and
So,
to finished boat.
so after building some of these boats for the company that built them and sold them, you went to them and said, okay, I want to build another one for yourself.
Yeah.
And they were fine with that.
Yeah, that's been more common before, but it's still some people in the yard doing it, and it's perfectly fine with a yard. Because they used to have a long line, waiting line for boats, about 2, 3 and 4 years, depending on the time a little bit. So if somebody on the yard wanted to build a boat, they're only happy they get another boat out on the market. Or
how long has that company been making boats?
Well, it started, I think, in 1886 or something like that.
Wow.
So that is one of Sweden's oldest still working yards. The yard is called Rosetta Båtvarv, but the brand of the boat they make is Linjett.
So they've been making sailboats forever.
Yeah, but in the beginning they made all kind of boats, from passenger boats and sailing boats and motorboats, all kinds of boats. And they started to make this kind of sailboat in fiberglass that they call Linjett only 1973.
So what do you like about this particular model that you built? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it?
I think we like that it's a little bit classic compared to the most modern boats, that it's wide and light. You still have a pretty deep hull and pretty narrow water line, so it slides really easily through the waves, and you don't need a lot of sail to drive it. All the way since Panama, I think, the only sail we use for a head sail is our 70% jib.
Wow.
And if the wind is over 5 meters per second or something, so the sails won't flop if there is any sea going, then it's enough to push us through in 5 knots at least, even with these small sails. So she's really easily driven and still really nice in the sea. I think we like that a lot. You don't need to push her to get a good speed out of her.
No. And she's good in light air and
reasonable. She's getting pretty heavy, but while you're cruising like we are doing now, we only have had a couple of occasions where we could wish that we had more sails, because normally if the wind is down that much in the area we've been sailing, there is still old sea going on. So even if you have more sails up, the sail is just flopping anyway and get destroyed, so you probably start the engine anyway. So
what kind of engine do you have?
we have a Volvo 4-cylinder, 40 horsepower.
So what happened after Norway? You worked in Norway for a while, you left, and then how long ago was that, and where have you sailed? What happened since then and now?
We went down to Shetland Islands, and then we went through the Irish Sea, and then we crossed the English Channel.
Yeah, and Bay and Biscay.
Yeah. And then we went to Madeira and Canary Islands, and then Cape Verde, and then we crossed the Atlantic to the Caribbean and Martinique, and then we cruised some islands there, and then we decided to leave the boat in Curacao last summer during the hurricane season, so we went home to meet family and friends before we hit the Pacific. What then?
Kind of changed it on mine.
Yeah.
We went up and visited Norway again,
Yeah,
and
the harbor.
realized we really liked that a lot, and realized that we missed the family a bit while we were out.
Yeah, so we figured we're not supposed to go cruising for like 10 years and never go home. Yeah, we ended up buying the berth and the small house in the harbor.
That we rented while we were in Norway.
Yeah.
It came out on the market the day before we went up to visit.
Yeah.
In the summertime, and he's going, "Oh, I'm selling the house and the dock. You gonna buy it?" I'm like,
Oh yeah, we
why
can
not?
do that.
Wow.
Just joking around with him, and then after we left him there on the dock, and he ran away in his boat, and maybe we should do it.
Why not?
And 2 days later, we bought it, and so now we're heading back home there.
So you left your boat in
Curacao,
flew home to Sweden.
to Sweden, yeah.
And then with the intention of just visiting.
Yeah.
Working for the
Working.
summer.
Oh,
I was working on the yard in the spring, because we also have maintenance and
Storage.
wintering of the boats, the Linjetts up there.
Yeah.
So in the spring it's about, I think now it's about 120 or 130 boats that supposed to go in the water in a couple of months, in the same time as the production of the year have to be finished, and so they have a lot to do in that time of year. So I called them from Caribbean if they need some help, and yes, please.
Can you come tomorrow?
So
Wow,
I worked there for
Two-
2 months or something,
two
and
and
I
a
put
half.
put in a little more than 4 months of working time. It's really intense months, and then I spend the rest of the summer with my family and fishing and just hanging out.
And I worked
Wow. So how long was that you were away from the boat?
6 months.
6 months. And during that time you worked and you bought a house.
Yeah, small house. It's on the
Yeah.
pier by the berths, and it's only 16 square meters. So, but it's gonna be a nice space to have close to the boat that we can store some stuff and maybe make it into a little house where we can actually live in the coldest part of the winter. Or
And if we change our mind, we can sell it and go out sailing again.
Yep.
We'll see.
So then you flew all the way back to the boat and now the plan was different.
yeah, now we've had a plan to go to Panama and up,
Sunglass Islands.
yeah, and up that Central America.
Yeah, Belize and up there.
But then we changed our mind again that it's gonna be hard to go back from Panama up
And
in the spring. So no, let's just go to the Eastern Caribbean again, hang
Yeah.
out there with nice people, and because there's more cruises there, especially from Sweden and Norway. So we figured that would be nice. We went to Bonaire first for 6 weeks or something and took
Yeah.
some diving,
scuba diving.
so certificates and stuff like that.
Then we went up to St. Martin, and then St. Bart's, Dominica, and Beckway.
Beckway for Christmas,
Yeah.
and there we met
It's
a lot
a
of
huge
people.
place for Scandinavians to celebrate Christmas.
That way.
And there we met a couple who was heading to San Blas. So we said, is it possible to head back? Because they were thinking about go to the Grenadines and leave the boat there for the hurricane season. And they said, oh yeah, it's no problem. We're going. You can do it. Okay. So we changed our mind again.
Wow.
So we...
Sailed back to Bonaire and visited with our friends there, and stayed there for 2 weeks or something like that.
yeah.
That time.
And then your parents arrived and visiting us.
They sailed with us to Aruba, and from Aruba to Panama.
To San Blas.
And then we spent 2.5, 3 months in San Blas area and the Bocas del Toro before heading up to Cuba and Jamaica, up to the Bahamas, Florida, New York,
Nova Scotia, Newfoundland.
Greenland.
Greenland.
And we met you.
And here you are. A lot of sailing and a lot of places.
That's been nice. It's been so fun.
Years.
Yeah.
What do you think?
We're not done yet.
No. Where did you stay the longest, and what were some of your favorite places?
I think we stayed the longest in San Blas,
Yeah.
but
Panama
mainly
area.
because the trade wind made it pain in the ass to go out of there earlier. I think we could have been finished with San Blas after like 1 month, 1.5 months, something like that, and rather go up to see Belize or something on the way, but we didn't find a really good weather window, and we kind of liked it also a lot, so it's just nice to hang out there and just having a big vacation before starting to head working to actually getting back.
Yeah. That was very nice. And Cuba was beautiful.
You really
Yeah, that may
liked
be
it.
one of the
What-
best places.
Yeah.
Really? What was it like there? What did you like about it?
The inland, we didn't do the coast. We just rented a car and we were out on the roads 3 days? 4 days?
Yeah, we didn't have too much time, but it was nice to see.
Yeah. And the people was very friendly.
The people were very friendly.
And the nature, and they're like 60 years behind us.
Yeah, so it was like going back in time.
Yeah. Not many cars, horses, bicycle, taxis. Beautiful, beautiful cities.
How long?
And cheap.
And cheap.
Very
cheap. How much time did you usually spend in each place? And
Always
did you ever really sort
differs
of
a
like
lot.
settle down and get into a routine, or was it more like going there and then concentrated seeing the place and then
Yeah.
finishing in a couple of weeks. And
Yeah, I think mostly a couple of weeks or
Yeah.
something like that. Except for Norway.
Yeah.
Some last we had also a lot of time.
Yeah.
But
Wow, that's a lot of sailing. How many nautical miles have
We're-
you sailed?
We're up to 21.
20, I think
Yeah,
it's 21,000
21,000
now.
now.
Oh, you've sailed 21,000 nautical miles together in a boat that you built yourself.
We're still alive. So far.